This is Teaching Inferences discussion. For this project, I chose Alaska Adventure, Common Sense, and Trees Rise in the Desert. The objectives I chose for the TEKS, they're all grade 1. The first one is English Language Arts, Knowledge and Skills, actively listening, speaking, having discussions, and collaborating as a class, asking questions to clarify information, working on asking deeper and harder questions. Number 2 was Science, Knowledge and Skills. Students ask questions, identify problems, ask questions based on observations taken from texts, investigates information, and collaborates as a class to discuss information within the text. And then finally, for grade 1 social studies, I chose geography, exploring the community, state, country, and world on maps, identifying local locations as well as locations based off of maps in the US, as we find in Alaska Adventure. Local and global inferences, blueprint. Understanding local and global inferences is important when trying to understand text and what each style and connection means. Making local connections involves using strategies such as cohesive ties to bring them together, while global connections refer to information that was already known from outside resources rather than in the classroom. Cohesive ties instruction. For my cohesive text sample, I chose Alaska Adventure. The student instructions, local inferences involves linking words together, recognizing location in the text, and creating mental models by bridging information together from separate parts of text. Some ways we are able to recognize these elements are using context clues, identifying keywords and elements, and recognizing location within the text. And you can see through the examples, like the first example, noun references. Henry is working late. He, who is Henry, works at a local restaurant. Cohesive ties modeling. Alaska Adventures. Today we'll read a passage, the passage Alaska Adventures. We will read the story as a class. We will be looking for the usage of nouns. We talked about the nouns and what they might look like when we read about Henry in prior examples. We know how to recognize noun references throughout the passage because of Jake and his dad. The use of they refers to Jake and his dad as a whole. Cohesive ties, guided practice. We will read this passage, Alaska Adventure, and look for repetitive nouns. They are the same but do not change throughout the text. So Jake and his dad are referred to as Jake, they, we, dad, and then the occasional mom, but really the two that we're talking about are Jake and the dad. Cohesive ties, the independent practice. Go through the Alaska Adventure passage on your own and highlight substitutions of words that have the same meaning but are not spelled the same. For this activity, we can refer back to the substitutions and synonyms that we went over prior. For the connectives, connective ties are words that sentences and phrases go together. Types of connectives, additive, temporal, casual, adverse. Examples could be also, but, before, until, and however. Example sentence, Ruthie loves playing outside, however she only plays on her trampoline. For connective modeling, today we'll be reading Common Sense together, and we will be looking for inferences, connectives. While I read the passage, we will highlight then, finally, inside, and those are what tied the phrases together. Then he stuffed all the common sense inside and kept collecting. Connectives, guided practice. In the fourth paragraph, we will now highlight the words but, and like within the passage. Connective independent practice. You will now go through the rest of the passage and find local inferences that have been listed prior. Use context clues and make sure that they connect the sentences. Global experiences. Global inferences is using your prior knowledge and understanding to make inferences about the text you are reading. Using context clues help you understand the text better. Global inferences, modeling, silhouette strategy, steps to make an inference. Read the passage, read the question, list similar details, watch for relationships, decipher what they mean. Global inferences, we will read trees rise in the desert, and as a class, after reading, we will insert prior knowledge into the what I know diagram while also answering the questions. Why was planting the seeds so important? Planting seeds grew trees in that area that has very little water. Why was planting the trees so significant? Planting the trees saved this area in Africa from becoming an absolute desert. How did Sagadogo influence others? He knew a way of farming, the old method that Africans used long ago that has been proven to help plants grow. And then what effect did he have on the area? He was able to prove those that doubted him wrong by planting the seeds and growing a forest in the desert. Silhouette independent practice. Students will be given a different passage and are required to read through and answer the questions based on their knowledge of the text. And then summary. In conclusion, this project taught me a deeper understanding of local and global connections and really challenged me. I struggled, but I was able to get it accomplished and develop a deeper understanding of the media